Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a Wavy V Ice Dyed shirt. I'm going to start by centering the shirt, and this process is going to go really fast. But down below in the description for this video is a link to another video which shows how to center a shirt. Basically what I'm doing is getting both sides of the front of the shirt right up next to each other. That will also make both sides of the back of the shirt right up next to each other too. So whenever I apply the dye to the shirt, both sides of the front are going to be more symmetrical, and the same thing with the back. Okay, so now that the shirt is centered, I'm going to find where I'd like for the very bottom of the V portion to be. And using my washable marker, I'm going to make a mark right on that center line where I'd like for the bottom portion of the V to be. Now using my straight edge and washable marker, I'm going to draw a line from the arm seam of the shirt down to that line. And then instead of making it straight, I'm going to go ahead and use my washable marker and just draw on a wavy line. Then I'm going to fan fold that wavy line, and I'm going to tie it with some kite string. You could go ahead and use rubber bands, or you could even use sinew if you would like to have a white line instead of just a line that kind of blends with the rest of the shirt. Once I have the initial line tied, I'm going to scrunch the fabric on either side of this line. Because of the fan folds and the thickness of the fabric, it's a little bit difficult to scrunch right up close to that line, but I'm going to do my best and put a few little scrunches on either side of this line. Then I'm going to hold those folds in place with some rubber bands. By the time I got around to applying the dye to this shirt, it was totally dry. It doesn't have to be, but I like to let you guys know the condition of the shirt when I start applying the dye. I've taken a plastic container and I'm using a plastic basket which I'm going to turn upside down, place it down inside of the container, and then another plastic basket which is right side up with the shirt inside. That will keep the shirt up out of the muck. And all muck is a mixture of the melting ice that's mixed with the dye. Then because the shirt is totally dry, I'm going to spray a little bit of soda ash solution over the top to help the dye stick better. Okay, so right on the line that I fan folded, I'm going to place some black from Dharma Trading Company. By the way, all these colors are Dharma Trading Company colors. A few of the colors are special order colors from Dharma. I'm not sure any of them are available in smaller quantities right now from Dharma, but you can purchase them in either really large quantities, or there's a group on Facebook called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. And I'll leave a link down below in the description for this video to that Facebook page. There are several people who sell these dyes, which they purchase in the large quantities and then break them down into smaller quantities for sale. Then on the top portion of the shirt, like the neck of the shirt, I'm going to use San Francisco Fog and Black Cherry. I'm just going to lightly sprinkle that over the top of the shirt. Then on the bottom portion, I'm using Spanish moss and olive drab. Now I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of soda ash over the top of the dye and add on some ice. After the first layer of ice melted, I had quite a bit of white showing, so I went ahead and turned the shirt over and checked the back. I had fairly decent saturation in certain areas, but I still had quite a bit of white left, so I went ahead and turned the shirt over and repeated the dye process on the back of the shirt. I didn't have to add as much dye, but I did go ahead and add the dye, a little more soda ash, and some more ice. After this layer of ice melted, I allowed the shirt to process for about 48 hours before I rinsed it out. I rinsed the shirt like normal. I started rinsing in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of continuing to rinse for a long time, I went ahead and ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added some Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, and allowed the shirt to soak. I continued changing out the water when it would cool off and repeated this process until the water was remaining almost clear. Then I put the shirt along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine and washed it using a hot water cycle. So I've washed and dried the shirt and I gave it a quick iron, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? So I like this one. I think it turned out looking pretty cool. I really like the wavy line right up at the neck. I like the fact that the V's not just, a plain V. I like that addition of the little wavy line. And I really like the colors. I haven't used the San Francisco fog on anything or the Spanish moss. So I really like both of those. I think they turned out looking really cool. And then I know somebody's going to mention it. There are strange faces up in the top portion. On the front side of the shirt, I don't know. It looks kind of like an angry cat. And then it looks like some sort of a little dog on the back part up toward the neck. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but I do think they're fun little additions to the shirt. It's always neat whenever you do a shirt like this to see the faces and the other strange things that pop up in there. I really like the color depth with this shirt too. Like the bottom portion of the shirt where it's got the Spanish moss and the olive green. There's just such a variety of colors in there. There's darks, there's lights, it adds a lot of dimension to that part of the shirt. The same thing with the top portion of the shirt. It's not just a solid color. I mean, there's depth to that part of the shirt as well. So I'm really glad that I added the added dye to the back side of the shirt. I like the white that's in this shirt, and I think it really breaks up the color. It adds that depth and dimension, and I think it works well with this shirt. If I hadn't added the dye to the back, I think I would have ended up with too much white though. And so I'm really glad that I went ahead and took that extra step to turn the shirt over and add more dye to the back. So overall, I really love this shirt. I think it turned out looking really cool. I've had it hanging on my mannequin and several of my family members have come through and commented on what a cool shirt it is. So that's always good to get that kind of feedback from people who see tie-dye all the time. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know what you think about it. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.